The US restricted Huawei in 2019, and after years of work, Huawei is finally able to launch an operating system that would leave Apple and Android behind. Once again, the US sanctions have helped China win the tech battle, and this time, China will take over a huge part of the smartphone market. With the launch of the new Harmony OS 4 operating system, China has set smartphone standards that Apple or Android will not be able to beat. But how will the US react to its sanctions going in vain? Should the US stop the restrictions now, or will it continue? Let's find out. Welcome back to another exciting episode of our channel. Innovation Diary brings you China's innovation stories, projects, and growing influence in different parts of the world. If you are new to the channel and enjoy learning about fast-paced modernity, especially China's development and growing power, you will find our videos intriguing. In this video, we will discuss how the US sanctions on Huawei have failed. We will also talk about Huawei's new operating system. Watch the video till the very end to know how Huawei will beat Apple and Android. Let's get started. Huawei has launched a new smartphone operating system called the Harmony OS 4. This new operating system is thought to replace the Android operating system and will become the number in the smartphone market. The revival of the operating system uses AI assistance. And according to tech experts, this new operating system will give rise to Chinese smartphones. It will end the competition with Android forever, and Android's demand will fall flat. In August, Huawei announced the launch of its latest mobile operating system version and ensured that it has an upgraded AI assistant. This step will make Huawei the world's largest smartphone maker. The company has focused on changes that the smartphone users wanted. An upgrade in the smartphones was necessary that the Android operating system failed to give. Right after the launch, the new operating system became the talk of the town. And with its popularity, it will get a lot of buyers. But what's surprising here is that the US is responsible for why Huawei made the new upgrade to its system. You are mistaken if you are thinking the US helped China in making the new system. The US has put sanctions on Huawei that forced it to launch a new operating system, and with the launch, the Android operating system will come to an end, and this is because of the US. If you are thinking about why Huawei launched this new operating system, then you must know about the sanctions that the US has put on Huawei. The US plan was to destroy the company, but it never knew Huawei would come with something that would destroy Android. Battling the US sanctions was not easy. The Huawei market completely ended when the US put sanctions. But the revival will compensate for everything. China is hoping that Huawei will give competition to all the US smartphone companies, and it will be able to become the largest and even bigger producer of smartphones than it was. Since 2019, Huawei has been grappling with US-imposed sanctions. The sanctions were critical, and they completely limited Huawei's production. The US put sanctions on important equipment of the smartphone, making it impossible for Huawei to make a smartphone. In 2020, Huawei was making 37% of the world's total phones. It was earning a lot of revenue. But the US put sanctions on technologies like semiconductors, softwares, and operating systems. The US banned the Google Android mobile operating system in China. This impacted the global smartphone business and brought Huawei down from its previous leading position. Huawei's technology was not able to allow it to make smartphones that would sell. But what do you think Huawei could do? When China recently banned Micron, the only thing that Micron did was to get the Chinese market back. The company was ready to give all security tests to work in the Chinese market again, and China didn't allow it. So, currently, Micron is generating very less revenue due to losing the Chinese market. It is waiting for China to end the bans. But waiting is not what Huawei did. Huawei started working on its operating system. But why didn't Huawei ask the US to end the sanction? Before we continue further, tell us, are you loving the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel for more videos about China's development, power, and influence on the world. Let's continue now. If China is dependent on the US can use it against China. China does not want to be dependent on anyone, and especially not the US. It's because the US does not shy away from attacking China where it can. So waiting for the sanctions to end was not the best thing that China could allow Huawei to do. Instead, the government helped Huawei to work on its operating system. The Chinese government does not want its companies to be dependent on the US. And if the US put sanctions, instead of waiting for the sanctions to end, the companies start developing their technology. It not only makes them self-reliant and allows them to deal with the sanctions, but it also allows them to compete with the US companies. When the Android operating system was cut off, Huawei started working on making its operating system that would be better than Android. It has been working on it since 2019. And finally, in 2023, it launched the Harmony OS 4 operating system. Huawei mentioned that it has the ambition to take over the smartphone market. At the Huawei Developer Conference 2023, Yu Chengdong, the CEO of Huawei's Consumer and Intelligent Automotive Solution Business Group, said that Huawei smartphones are making a comeback. He mentioned that the new smartphones with the upgraded operating system will beat all other mobile phones out there. In the time of sanctions and limited access to technology, Huawei strategically focused on recapturing market share within China. It had no access to the market beyond China, so it strengthens its market within the country. It's because China has also put a ban on the US, and the companies had left a gap in the market that Huawei filled later. The Huawei market share in China was 7.3% in 2022, and by 2023, it became 13%. And now Huawei will work with other countries and will capture the market outside China. But how did Huawei do what all other companies have failed to do? Huawei follows a precise strategy. It targets the manufacturing of the premium smartphone segment. Its main objective was to compete with other companies and become number one. With its high-end technology, Huawei aims to challenge Apple by recapturing a huge share of the market. Huawei made high-end devices that would beat all other competitors. Many investors from the private sector also made investments in Huawei, helping it to grow. Huawei also faced obstacles in getting the chips, but it is still determined to enter the 5G smartphone market. But how will Huawei get the chips? China has banned Micron, and most of the chip equipment is not coming to China as well. China has made its chip equipment, and its chip-making capacity has also increased this year. Amid the chip sanction, the chip industry has skyrocketed, filling the country's chip demand. Huawei will also be using domestic 5G chips. It will also help the chip companies to pour their chips into the market. Huawei's goal is to achieve excellence in software with the latest technology. The smartphone and other devices that Huawei is launching will be specially designed to meet consumer needs like never before. Integrated with new and polished technologies, the new smartphones will become a new norm. Experts have said that enchanting the AI assistant will help Huawei make its consumer base. Huawei has introduced an enhanced version of its AI voice assistant, Celia. Trained with Huawei's Pangu AI model, the assistant is positioned to enhance productivity across various aspects of life and work. With the sanctions on Huawei, a new competition has started. And in this competition, China is again looking like a winner. Huawei's future is going to show many highs, and with each high, the US companies will see their career lows. If the two nations would have worked together, both were able to make progress. But the revival of Huawei makes it clear that many parts of the market will be dominated by China. If the US and China continue the sanctions further, the competition will keep increasing. And the hold China has on its tech sector confirms that China will not lose any tech war. The result of Huawei's new operating system launch will be seen in a few weeks. The US is just hoping that the new Chinese technology does not beat it. But from the anticipation of consumers, it looks like China has already beaten the US. We would like to take a moment here and appreciate you all for commenting and sharing your opinions. Your insights always impress us. Do you think China will kick out the US companies from the market? Is it possible that Huawei beats Apple? Will you be willing to buy new Chinese smartphones that use upgraded technology? Will China and the US competition continue? Or after losing many battles, will the US stop? Let us know in the comments section. Do you think the revival of Huawei has set new market standards? Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video. And subscribe to get exclusive videos about how phenomenally China is developing and growing its influence over the world. Until the next video, stay tuned.